Alright, today we're going to bust down an old Holley carburetor that came off a 65 Mustang, the Rustang. One side of it's dead. So we're going to bust it apart and see how much crud's in it. It's probably got a bunch of crud. So we're going to start with the front float bowl. Alright, well, there's the front float bowl. Doesn't look too terribly bad. Let's see, what do we need? And here is the front metering block. There's the two primary jets. There's the one side of the power valve. We'll have to clean this all up. But at the moment, I don't see anything obvious. This thing's probably clogged up on one side. So let's continue. And what I did here on my vise, I put a, don't know if you can see it, yeah, I put a bolt so I can just slide it down. I used to have a set of rubber carburetor feet that used to hold the carburetors, but I don't know what happened to them. Now this is probably going to be nasty because I saw a bunch of nasty fuel come out of the rear float bowl. Oh yeah, we got some icky pooey stuff in here, and you can see the gasoline is pretty bad, and the metering plate, I'll have to get a different tool to get the metering plate off. All right, well, I'll get it busted down a little farther and we'll see if we can figure out what's going on. All right, here's the rear metering plate off the 4 barrels, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but this, you're not going to be able to see it, but this hole is almost all the way clogged. This one is open. So, and you can see how it's got this yellow nasty stain of like yellow stain. That's what's clogging up this passage. So we'll clean this up real good and continue tearing it down. All right, on the back of the carburetor, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws, and then you disconnect the secondary diaphragm from the rod, and then this pops off. This actually doesn't look too terribly bad. Not a lot of dirt in it. So we'll continue, get all this stuff off, and obviously the back metering was changed because this gasket, it ripped a little bit. See how it's got this blue? Somebody's had this one apart and replaced this gasket, but yet on the front side of the carburetor, see how this is all stuck on? This has never been off. This is original Holley. It's a pain in the butt to get off. That's what they did. They started using the blue gaskets, and you can see somebody's had, this is the front metering block. They never had the metering block off because of the gasket, but they had the float bowl off because they replaced the float bowl with the newer style gasket. Okay, and on the choke mechanism, there's a bunch of Phillips screws, and there's a clip underneath here. So we got to get in here and try to get the clip. There's a little choke clip. It's just got to come out. And once we get that out, we might have to take the whole choke cover off because I can't get to those screws. Let's see. Don't want to take it apart all the way yet. Yeah, there we go. Get that one out. That one's all out. Okay, so now we just gotta get the rod to disconnect. Get a little WD-40 in there. And that's the whole electric choke assembly. I'll disassemble that later and check that out. This is the vacuum secondary diaphragm. And now that just comes out the same way. Got like 3 screws. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little cork gasket there for the choke mechanism. Because it does suck air in to help heat it up. All right, here's a secondary mechanism. And we can check this kind of real fast to see if it's still working or not. Basically, there's another cork gasket there. Push it in all the way, block it with your finger, and see it's not pushing back out. So it looks like the diaphragm is still good. See, when you let go, it comes out. So I do believe that diaphragm's good. I can't remember if the kit comes with them or not. So basically we got the main body all broken down. We'll get this over to my friend's house and get this in the hot tank. I'll clean the gaskets off. We'll have to get a kit for it and put it back together, blow some air through it, see if we can get this carburetor back in working order. All right. So real quick, while disassembling this, it's got this little tube that's got an O-ring. It does have an O-ring on the other end. The kit will definitely come with these 2 O-rings. Got to remember to put this back in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. So remember to always put that back in. Okay, so underneath the accelerator pump nozzle jet, there is a needle valve, which I almost dropped. Okay, it's a needle that goes in that hole before the jet part goes on. So remember to put that back in also. Okay, here's the part that sucks, is trying to get these gaskets off. So I usually take a little gum cutter, I soak them down, and I have a wire brush, and you just start wire brushing them off. You try to pull off as much as you can, and then you use your wire brush. I find it's the easiest way to get the old paper gaskets off. Then once you're done, just get a air blower and blow them off. I don't have one right handy, but there's the metering block pretty much all cleaned off. So we got all our screws and everything here. The rear metering plate, I guess they call that. And then here are the metering block, the front float bowl, the rear float bowl, and the body. And there is the base plate. I still have to get the gasket off the base plate. It looks like it's going to come off in one piece though. And here's another good tip. Always take and save your gaskets so you can match them up with the new gaskets, because sometimes you'll have 3 of these or 4 of these and the holes will be different. So if you save your old gaskets, then you know that you're going to have the right one. Sometimes you can't save them, like this one, but still try to save the pieces so you can at least try to match them up. All right, well, these are going to go in the hot tank over at my friend's house, so we'll take another video in like a week. Maybe I'll take them and put in the hot tank, and then we'll take them and put them over to my brother's Isonic cleaner also. All right, see y'all later.